of 2020. So I really can't believe it, but it's actually already 31st of December and it's the last day of the year. Time just flew by. It felt like 3 weeks to me. Like from the moment I joined university to now, it honestly feels like 3 weeks has just flashed by. But in reality, it's 3 months almost already, 3 or 4 months. So I joined college in September. Now it's December, September, October, November. Oh, it's like 4 months. It's been 4 months already. And so 2020, true to its name, has been a pretty big change in terms of career wise and in terms of study wise. And 2020, as the name suggests, was also a year. You know, it's like the big new decade, the 20s. But it was a year where our country had to go, and all of us as people had to go through so many weird changes, especially in the way we interacted with people. I have to say that the whole situation didn't really affect me that much because I'm quite, you know, sometimes I tend to stay in a little bit more, so I appreciated, like, you know, when there was a bit of solitude outside. But you know, of course it affects people in different ways, but I'm just saying, you know, and I really feel for people who, you know, are used to going out so much but suddenly they can't. And so I mean, that was one thing, the whole COVID situation. Aside from that, 2020 was also where I decided to change from being a teacher, which I was a student care teacher for 4 years at this place, and I took the step to, I took that very, very scary giant leap to study. So I think most people my age, they would have already graduated college and then started working, etc. Or some people my age would have chosen not to go to university and just decided to just straight work, which is also fine. Like, it's your choice, you know. But for me, I decided to work for 4 years first, and then go and study. And to be honest, I'm very grateful that I did it that way, because going to university is a commitment. I was very scared because I had made the wrong choice of what I studied. I did not enjoy the things that I studied very much in polytechnic. So after I graduated, I started working almost immediately. I just applied on a whim and I got in, and I never in my life thought that I would be there for 4 years. Never. And this just goes to show that you can never really predict what life gives you. So I was there because, I mean, if people ask me, like, why would you stay so long in this place? Why would you waste your time? Some people, you know, might say such things like that because, you know, practical mindset, faster go uni and earn money, big bucks, blah blah blah. I only have one simple reason, and I always say this. It's because I loved what I did. I genuinely loved teaching children, especially. It was such a joy for me, and I never regretted any of the times where I spent with the kids. But of course, I think somewhere deep inside me, I started to engage more with children in the sense of drama. I started to do more like projects with them, and somewhere inside me always knew that I had to express myself creatively, whether it's in terms of writing or acting. You know, during my work, I would even like do some short films, and I thought to myself, okay, at my age, if I don't make the jump right now, it's gonna be, I'm never gonna do it. I have to make a jump later down the road or now. It still has to happen. So I took a deep breath and I jumped. I applied for the course, and trust me, it took me almost 2 years of pain just to really think of what I wanted, and I just jumped. And even to the day that I was accepted, I was frightened. Why was I frightened? I mean, aside from obviously I was freaking scared of the course content. I mean, dancing, oh my god. And I was having imaginary scenarios that the teachers are all very scary monsters who will bite on you, and I was like sweating, you know, because me and pressure sometimes don't go very well. So I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And I even, for my dance audition, I sent a K-pop cover because I didn't know what else to dance. Like, it wasn't an on-site, it was an online thing, and no one gave us any choreo. So I was like, we can dance whatever we want. So I just did whatever I knew, and I didn't think I had no idea if I was gonna get in or not. Like, it was like the stakes are open. I have no clue. I can hope, but I'm also expecting that I won't. You know, it was like a both thing. I expected not to get in, but at the same time I was hoping that I would. And I got in. And it was just like that. And even thinking about it now, like, you know, I realized that most of my fear didn't have to do with the course. It had to do with my fear of interaction. I even rang up the office, I think so many times before I sent in the application and whatever. Actually, I sent it in and I was ringing them up. I hesitated not because of the course, because of the people. I was afraid. You know, this is just my opinion, but you know, 2020 has been a year where I realized that I was brave, what I was brave at, but I also realized what I was very terrified of. And I sooner or later had to face my fears, which I had been running away from and calling out hate and all that. But in reality, I was just afraid of facing my emotions and instead chose to block them. So how did it go? The things that I felt I realized came to a head. Like I would have this bad habit of blaming people. Oh, they didn't listen to me. Oh, they didn't, you know, pay attention to me. You know, but all these things was deep down, I felt like I didn't respect myself, you know? And I was just simply looking for a way, an outlet to put it on someone. Sorry, excuse me, I had to pause because there was a long ringing outside. Okay, now it's over. Hopefully it doesn't come back. So at the first few weeks I really tried my best. You know, I knew from my work experience that I worked a lot better alone. I was a lot efficient. I personally felt a lot more efficient, and I really enjoyed working alone, you know. And I was terrified. I went to school. To me, I wasn't. It was half of me being real, and I came the mindset of sorry, there's a ring. There was I came the mindset of being I'll be honest with my feelings, but I must maintain good relationships with people. So that was fine for a while, but I think it was during the time of when they told us about submissions, because there was so much anxiety in me, and to me it has been this. I haven't solved the issue, and I knew I didn't solve my issue. What it was always like to me, what it felt like was there's this pot of bubbling, about to burst shit, mayhem, death, chaos. It's this metal pot that's like and like that's how my feelings felt like. But since you know the start, I've been trying to cram a lid on it, but some juices kept spilling out and I was like, no, you can't let your fears, you can't let it show, you can't let it did I so was it an empty pot of no problems? No, you know, it felt like suppression. And obviously with my focus distracted, because now there's submissions, which it's you know, I had a talk with a program leader and he really helped me. So but it was still stressful, you see, because there's things you have to do. You still have to deliver results, right? You still have to do something and you still have to complete your tasks. So I felt like I was losing my grip on things. I felt more shy, more withdrawn. I didn't feel that way at the first week. I was fine. I was confident, I was charming. I felt like I really respected myself. However, as difficulties with, you know, me obviously, me being completely new to this whole drama thing, and you know, I didn't have any experience. I didn't have any like solid experience, you know. It was so different. And I'm sure even people from drama were experiencing difficulty. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that you must understand. You literally feel like a fish suddenly in a different water. And but it was fine for the first few weeks until, of course, I felt a bit, you know, pressured. Which is pressure is good, but what pressure meant was that I couldn't focus on cramming that lid of crazy bubbling emotions down, and I guess it affected a lot of the relationships I had with people, and it really upset me. Till now. Till now it's a problem and I'm upset about it. I wish that I could have handled things better. I wish, I can go on and on about saying, oh, I wish that person is more nice to me. Oh, I wish that person is more forgiving, more understanding to me, more accommodating to me. But you know what? I've realized today, because I was cleaning my room, last day of year, I was cleaning my room for the entire afternoon and I was just playing some TED Talks, like all the way. And I just realized that, girl, like, of course all of us hope that people are nice to us, treat us well, understand us, but to expect that out of people, I'm not trying to say that I'm a pessimist, but to expect such a things out of people, it's a dead end. Not everybody's gonna do that. Sometimes nobody's gonna do that. The only person that's gonna have your back that you know for sure is yourself. Not trying to be corny, but I mean literally it is yourself, right? I mean, sometimes yes, once out of maybe every 10 times or 100 times, I don't know, there might be somebody that comes along that really just wants to understand, without expecting anything in return. An angel, perhaps, sure, but oftentimes these expectations that I had on people, which I had, it didn't help. Who was I to expect things out of people? Why didn't I expect things out of myself? So this year I'm at that plateau, the transition period, where the good thing about this is that I'm now okay. The bad thing was that whole shit happened, where my bubbling emotions, because I never planned to cure it. It wasn't a cure. It was just I didn't plan to cure it. It was just me cramming shit down. Did it help in the end? Did it help at first? Yeah, it did. Oh, it was like a pretense. Was it helpful ultimately at the end? No, it was not. In fact, it burst really badly. So I think what I've learned, especially this end of the year, is that I have to solve my issues. And this year I'm seeing actually only in December. In December I've started seeing a therapist, which is bloody expensive, but there's a cheaper one coming up in February. So hopefully then, I think it's time to just, instead of always, which I've always done, cramming shit down and not being vulnerable and pretending my problems don't exist and acting all smug and invincible, like nothing bothers me, instead of just acting like that, just to please people, which is what I was intending to do at the start, and it worked only temporarily. I have to be really honest with myself, because sooner or later, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. Especially when there's times of triggers of stress. It's gonna come out. You can't keep pressing a lid on for 3 years. I mean, you gotta fix it. Or at least try to manage it, No, do manage it. So that was the issues that I've had this year. I think it was really, like, I've always known it. It was the social part. The thing that bother me is rarely about, school part, yes, but I've done my best for the school part, so I'm pretty okay with that. It's the social part that I know I didn't do my best at. I was pretending all the time. Not all the time, but sometimes. And while I know I did put in some effort, I wasn't honest with myself. And so that was my mistake. So next year is a different thing. So moving on to the great parts, I don't think I could have survived without my mom. My mom I'm so grateful for my mother, because obviously, my dad doesn't support what I'm doing, but, and she's also very, like, I guess, questioning what I'm doing, but, money, things like, because you're not able to work, or it's hard to work, or when you don't work, like, she gives me money, and I feel bad, but at the same time, without her, like, what food would I have eaten? What could it be? Like, just her being there, this watch is from her, like so many things. The great thing about studying and, I guess, living independently, I'm not really that independent, but I'm not clinging onto my parents all the time. So the great thing is that I don't tend to complain too much about my school troubles ever since I was young to my parents, because there's no outlet for that. But sometimes people love in different ways, and it helps. You don't have, like I said, you shouldn't expect people to change. You should expect yourself to change. So for me, that was a great help. Like, I love my mom. She's awesome. Even for basic food, man. Like, can you imagine no food? Like, and you're studying such a physically intensive athletic course. You need food. 100% you need food. And wellness and clothes and blah 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 blah. And second thing is, I was so happy and in love with what this whole nature of the course was about. But maybe it was because of the whole friends thing, that I started to question myself. Oh, maybe I should have just been a writer. Maybe I should have just studied English literature. But then I knew deep down that no, I won't be happy just studying. I love words and they're always going to be my number one. But just studying that for 3 years, no, I knew that wasn't what I wanted. So I think right now it's just coming to terms and being grateful and remembering the feelings of euphoria of performance, and understanding what it entails. I had a consultation with my dance teacher recently, and sometimes I have a tendency for me to think I'm a very emotional person, but at the same time I tend to I have a very, very like black and white outlook on things certain times. I'm not saying all the time, but like for me, A plus B is, after A and B it's C. A, B, C, and after C it's D, and after D it's E. Like, sometimes I tend to think rather rationally in that sense, logically, if you will. Or like, if I do 1 and I plus another 1, of course it's gonna be a 2. Like, it can't be anything else. I've got a very sometimes I have a very like fixed outlook on certain progresses that I expect out of myself. In short, I can be rather impatient. Very impatient and very angry with myself. And what that I'm grateful for is that the consultation made me ask myself, do I just like the results, or do I enjoy the process? I realized that I didn't always enjoy the process. And if I could be even more honest, is that people make the process so much more fun. And it was something that I didn't want to accept, because the negative part of me was like saying, oh, people suck. But I think, yeah, I mean, sometimes people do suck. Okay, they do. Some people are shit. But so many times people are good. And then it all goes down to facing your emotions and being honest with them, which I need to do. I have to face my emotions in order to face other people's emotions. I have to be honest with my own feelings for me to be honest and open with others. If not, I'm always trying to cram that bloody lid on that bloody overfull pot, which is very full. Especially, and it got even more full as the weeks go by because of all the new tasks. So yeah, in terms of that, I'm learning as well. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for the teachers. Oh my god, like I did mention that I was freaking scared. Oh yeah, I was bloody scared of the teachers because of the horrendous experience I had in poly, right? I really assumed that all teachers are like that. I was scared out of my pants because I know, like, I'm the kind that sometimes if you scream at me, I'll be just like, I'll just cry. But in the end, I don't cry. I'm just imagining myself crying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't cry in real, like, maybe on that day itself, but I can just imagine myself doing that. But, it's a gamble. And I think what reassures me is that the teachers really are just trying to help. And me as a student, what I can do and what I'm trying to do, like, for example, maybe it's like, I won't say that I'm a slow learner. I know that I can do it. I'm not stupid. Like, it's my strength is more linguistic. It's linguistic sides. I'm not saying that I score well at it. Like, it's not about grades. Okay, I'm just saying what I find easier to access. It's not about grades. Okay, maybe all that. No, I'm just saying what I truly love and what I access very naturally for me is words. But it's expressing myself through words, writing my stories through words, reading books, understanding certain very, very difficult concepts. Words. They're my breath of fresh air. But it doesn't mean that I hate the other forms. No, I'm trying to learn. Because I came to this course, it's not a freaking dance course only. It's not a freaking singing course only. It's musical theatre. And that means 3 things. Okay? It's not just like one size fit all. No, it's not. So, yeah. Because I had to check my calls. And where was I about? I was on the topic of teachers. So the teachers, I'm very grateful for them. And as a student, I've been actively listening, but I must admit that I think my impatience towards learning and my resistance and my stubbornness has blocked me from accepting help from people. I will work on myself to be a better student, a more positive mindset. But in order to have a more positive mindset, the way isn't to cram the shit and pretend the shit of your emotions. It's really to deal with it and fix it step by step. Scrape at it each and every single day and be grateful. And I can see such a change in myself, in terms of my happiness, in terms of my positivity, just because I know this is something that I'm doing to advance myself. And learning to be very open to learning, which is something that sometimes I'm always a bit suspicious of. But I realize now that the teachers, they really are trying to help. They are not here to humiliate you or to make you feel embarrassed or make you feel like shit. Because I mean, there are some people who do that, but I think they understand because they're from the performing arts as well. It's not easy. And because of that, I will do my best. Not for them, it's for myself. You know what I'm saying? And there's just too many things to be grateful for this year. Even the bad things, even the horrible and bad experience and the pain that I felt, even these are lessons for me to be grateful for. And Mom, if you're watching this, I love you very, very much. You are, every time I see you like rushing to work or like driving your car or like doing whatever you always do lah, basically, you're always doing something. I just always feel like you are Wonder Woman to me, like Superwoman. Like some a woman, but something super. Because I don't care what people say. Like, I'm old enough to differentiate what's good and what's bad, and it's not my place to judge. Okay, I'm not like whoever you think I am. Like, oh, that kind. I'm just a human being, and yeah, I love you, Mom. You're freaking amazing. Sometimes we disagree, but it's fine. But I still think that you are Wonder Woman. So that's it for my 2020 summary. It's been a lesson of I'm happy with where I am now. Now it's a matter of my mindset. Like, most of the teachers who feedback to me said that it was my mindset was the thing that's blocking me. It's not that I can't physically do it, it's not as though I'm physically incapacitated. It's not that. In things that I'm good at, I think I'm pretty smart at it. But it's the mental block, it's the way I perceive things that just block me. And I have to agree. It's the way I see things that I think should change, and I want to change. And yes, I'm uncomfortable with therapy. I'm fucking uncomfortable with it. I hate talking about emotions. To me, they're very frustrating. But at the same time, I can't deny that probably the reason why I hate talking about my emotions is because the emotions are the content that's bubbling inside that pot. That is the issue. That the whole thing that I have refused or hated fixing. So, who is the real me? I think that comes with being honest with your struggles and your strengths. And I know that I love dramatic literature. It's not about the results. I'm just saying I know that I love it. I know that I love to write. And I know that I'm grateful for the teachers. And I know that I'm better at improv now. And I know that I love acting. Singing and dancing is something that I appreciate, but I'm trying to work on. So that's it for 2020. I'm not a all-rounder superstar triple whatever, but as of now anyway, I'm only at year 1 sem 1 of my musical theatre course at LaSalle. So there's a lot of things to work on, so many things to work on, but I'm grateful for the variety of things that I get to do. It's not often that you get to do this, and I'm just so grateful for it. And that's it for 2020. I'll be heading to a party where my mom's gonna be at, and yeah, that's it. And to you, Crystal, like, seeing this video right now, you'll probably be seeing it like, I don't know, where sem 2 or whatever, I don't care. But if you've been seeing you've always been doing some vlogs, right, through the years, but I could see that I was very sad, you were very sad Chris Dalte. You looked sometimes very troubled because you were a teenager and you were very lost and confused. But this time's different. And it's not up to the environment, but it's up to yourself as well. Because what's different isn't just the environment that you chose, that you are in. It's what you chose to do. It's the decisions that you made this year that made you different. It was your decision to differentiate between good and bad. It was your decision to make a mistake, yes, and it fucking sucks. But it was your decision to learn something from it. It was your decision to cry and then tell yourself that you need to go back in. It was these little what changed wasn't necessarily the environment that you're in, because environments always change. They're not constant. Anything can happen. Nothing is fixed. But you yourself, Chris Dalte, like, you used to always blame the environment. I'm not saying that I don't, but you're so helpless, But now, as you're growing older, you're learning more things, like, I know the prefrontal cortex or whatever, you're starting to, you're less teenagery, Of course, there's still a long way to go in terms of adulting. Oh my god, sometimes I feel like I'm pretending to be an adult. sometimes, okay? But if you can just jump and do like a quick switch between two freaking ages, you can see that now you're a lot more happier. I'm a lot more happier with myself. I have flaws, but the thing is, I can see that I have flaws. And I can see that it's not always the environment, but also what I choose to do with the environment that makes such a fucking huge difference. Okay, because the environment is never always good. Sometimes it sucks, but it's what you do. And you are amazing. I am amazing. Not because of just my environment, but because of what I've chosen to do with it. And every single day, every single hour, the decisions that I have decided to make. And that's it for 2020. So see you soon. Bye bye. It was a good year. Love you.